everybody, and welcome back once again. Another edition of Inside the Headset. It's week 4, game 4, and I'm with the head coach of the Blackman Blaze, Coach David Watson. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing well, Stork.
Friday night, you had a great game, came away a winner. Talk a little bit about Friday night and picking up the win against Riverdale.
Well, it's good to win a rivalry game like that. And, when Blackman opened, it pulled a lot of kids from Riverdale, and it just kind of developed a natural rivalry. And for years, Blackman had never beat Riverdale, so that kind of became a team that, when somebody's got your number, you really want to beat them. So it was good for our school and community to win the game.
Yeah, because when they first opened, so they opened, 2001? It was the first season, I think, here, 2000, somewhere around in that. And then it wasn't until 2010, 2011, somewhere along that Blackman ended up.
I think it was Shad's first year, which was 09.
09. That you challenged them and you actually stood up to them and beat them.
Right.
Or got them or whatever. So,
right.
Long time coming. They had your number for quite some time.
Absolutely. So, that's always a special game for our school and faculty and the kids. It just seems kind of like a little natural rivalry. They all know each other real well. So it was a good game, a good win for us. And I was just super impressed with how our kids came to play and how aggressive and excited we were. We had a lot of juice. I was real excited about that. And to see our defense get out there and perform and play like we thought they were capable was big too.
Well, and they had a couple of misfortunes that they're not normally used to, and stuff. And when you get, when they give you the ball or whatever, but, people may say, well, they got lucky or whatever, but the harder you're playing, the luckier you get.
Yeah, you make your breaks.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always felt like, and I was taught years ago that, 4 or 5 plays in every game swing it one way or the other.
Yeah.
Then everything after that's just kind of circumstance.
Yeah.
And I said, the only way you can know when those plays are coming is to be playing hard on every play.
Yeah.
Because when opportunity presents itself, you have to be ready. And I think that's true at all levels. I think, that tonight there's an NFL game, regardless of who wins or what the outcome is, there'll be 4 or 5 plays during that game that'll swing it one way or the other. And that's that was the same thing Friday night. There were 4 or 5 plays that we were able to make and then kind of got us up on them. And then after that, everything else just kind of plays itself out.
From week 1 to now, what are some of the things that you can say, we have made strides in this, we have made strides in that?
It's a hard question to answer because I just feel like our week 1 opponent was so strong.
Oh, God.
That it's tough to.
Nobody's got them since.
Yeah,
nobody's beat them,
Because that night after that game, I was disappointed that we lost, obviously. Because when you put that much time and work in something. But I wasn't necessarily disappointed in our kids' effort and how we played that night.
Right.
We made mistakes, but they were able to expose you too, because they have really good players. So that's a hard question. I think kick teams we've been a little better, from improved from week 2 to week 3. We made some plays in the kicking game the other night. We're still not where we want to be there, but we were able to block a punt, and we've been able to limit the return game against us. We got to do a better job of catching punts. I was glad to see that we're more physical up front on the offensive line than I thought we would be. We really, we lost a lot of kids up front last year.
But somehow or another, seems like either you filled the gap or you got some guys that want to play O-line.
We got some guys that want to play. They're buying in and they're giving great effort and they work their tails off every day, even over the summer. So I'm very pleased with where we're at there. That's been a little bit of a surprise because that was a question mark and it's no longer a question mark. We've got a good, solid offensive line. We've had some receivers that have developed. We're still not where we want to be yet, but we've developed some kids there, and I see some improvement. So I'm happy with that. And then obviously defensively we were much better last week.
Yeah.
Than we had been. And the 2 weeks before we had great challenges. I mean, those 2 football teams that McCauley and Clay Chalkville, they're outstanding offensive football teams. And other parts of our team also contributed to giving up scores that really, when you look at the scoreboard, it looks like it's on the defense, but it may have been because of a kick return or not recovering an onside kick or offense giving them the ball at midfield. All that contributes to your defense, but I thought our defense played much better the other night, we were able to dominate the line of scrimmage and kind of make Riverdale one-dimensional. And anytime you can do that to a team, it kind of lends to your favor.
Probably got a few bruises, but anything major right now with your team as far as, that one that got a bad injury?
Nothing. We've been real fortunate so far and been able to avoid the injury bug, and we're pretty healthy right now and feeling pretty good. I think most of them are.
The next 9 days is not going to be easy, and you truly are going to be tested with the two next games. But let's just grab the first one because Tucker Tigers, not going to be easy. Let's first talk about who they are and just give us a little rundown of who they are and what they like to do, and offensively and defensively. Just give me the game caps.
Well, they're right outside of Atlanta in
Okay.
DeKalb County. Historically, they've had a very strong program. I think I read, where Tom had written, they've won the state championships there. They've never, when you go look at their records, they've never been a team that's went 2-8. They've always been 8-2, 10-1, 9-1, those kinds of things. They've got good tradition. Their coach has been there. I think he was an assistant on the staff prior. He's been there for the last 3 or 4 years. They've got good athletes. That area outside of Atlanta is heavily recruited, and it's heavily recruited for a reason because they have good athletes in that area. So they run a wing tee on offense.
Oh.
Very physical wing tee. They're big up front. They have speedy backs. I think their quarterback's committed to Harvard, so he's obviously got some intelligence and understands what they're trying to do. Defensively, they're a pressure team. They're going to play man coverage, man free, and some 3-deep zone, and they're going to come get you with their front. They're athletic up front. They're multiple. They run a 3-3, and they run a little bit of a 4-man front. So they're a good football team. It'll be a good challenge for us early in the season when we were facing this schedule. It was absolutely very tough to look at, but now we've kind of changed, and I can really see this. I've said people say it, but once you go through it and see it, you really start to believe it. Playing that competition has helped us get better.
Yeah.
I have no doubt
Yeah.
that by playing Clay Chalkville week 1, it really made us speed up because we had to try to even stay on the field with them. And I think that playing Tucker is going to help us because we're going to have to step up. We're going to have to play well to stay on the field with them. And
like you said, they're going to have some D1 guys and going to bring it and very aggressive, and so they're coming to expect to win, but you're not going to back down. But at the same time, you realize the numbers, I guess, is what you're trying to say. There are some number factors involved in this as far as their athletes, as far as D1s, and compared to this area right now. Because in the past, if you had a Jawan,
right. The thing about our kids, offers and all those things. Yeah, I mean that's good for newspaper articles and whatnot. But the thing I've learned about our team, and I'm confident that we'll show up and play. I'm
right.
confident,
Yeah, I know that.
I'm confident that we won't back down from anybody. We'll go out there and play fast. I truly believe that. Our kids, we have great camaraderie. We have good chemistry, and
I think you got the best chemistry going right now. I mean, whether or not you can keep it to week 10, but I definitely think right now, as far as kids taking it over, the students and them running it. I'm not talking about anybody else, but as far as that, I think you're leading the pack right now with the class of 2015 fall season.
Well, I talked to our kids about it, and I truly believe it. All we can control is what goes on here.
Yeah.
And I try not to concern myself with what everybody else is doing. I try to really focus on us because that's all I can. At the end of the day, that's all I can control.
Right.
And I can't totally control that, but I have more control than obviously I would about wearing somebody else's team or what their kids are doing. And we talk about making it about Blackman. It's always about us. It's about the process and us improving. And are we better today than we were yesterday? And are we going to be where we want to be week 11? Because that's really what counts with the new setup is being where we want to be week 11. Now, winning games before that helps you get to that point.
I definitely think you got to have confidence and you got to be ready and you got to know what you're good at, when you can score, when you can't, what you don't need to get yourself into, those type of situations. You want to know, the profile of your team as you get to week 11.
You want to know who you can depend on, and you want to find out what your kids can do and try to use utilize the tools you have to get the job done. You know, all teams have strengths, all teams have weaknesses. It's up to you to kind of minimize your weaknesses and accentuate your positives, so to speak, and play to those strengths and work like heck to get your weaknesses shored up. And that's what we're doing. That's what that's what we do in practice. We work on things that were weaknesses from the week before. You know, we've tried to improve. You know, after the Chalkville game, we tried to improve run support on the edge and playing screens better outside because we lost leverage a lot against Chalkville. Of course, at the McCallie game, we worked like heck on pass coverage and getting pressure on the quarterback and things because we didn't do that well against those teams. And you know, and we'll offensively we continue to work on things there. You know, to use what athletes we have to get them in space, and then you know continue to depend on our running game and just find ways to get the ball to Miller and let Miller make decisions. So, you know, it's all about what we're trying to do and improve. And Friday night will be a great challenge. And, you know, I think that our kids will respond. Tucker will throw some things at us that we haven't seen. And they'll try to expose what weaknesses their coaching staff has seen. And it'll be a learning process. It'll be an adjustment process.
Did they going to make the trip up and just make the trip back, or are they just turning it both ways?
I think it's what they're doing. I talked to their coach, and you know, we helped them hook in with a local church to host them for their pregame meal.
Good.
And you know, New Vision Baptist with Freddie Cooper, they've been real gracious. And,
good.
And getting Tucker.
Appreciate them doing that.
Yeah, I absolutely do. Tucker's going to go over there and eat a pregame meal and do a little devotional, and then their coach said they would hustle on over here. I think they're bringing 3 charter buses. They've got a really good program. They got a lot of kids out. I think he said they had around 100 kids. So it'll be good. It's pretty neat to play some different people. You know, I talked to our kids yesterday that one of the things that they had an opportunity to do was, you know, in building is who can beat an out-of-state team. You know, I said unfortunately, you know, with us playing a national schedule, I mean, you know, we're playing Kentucky 2 years ago. We played Alabama last year, played another Alabama this year. Now we're playing a Georgia. Who knows who we'll play next year because we have 2 open dates.
You've been building for quite some time, and you got to go on if you want to get to that next level and play up to that level. You got to play in that level, and if you don't play in it, you can't find out what's going on. You don't know what you're exposed to.
And I told them, you know, we hadn't beaten an out-of-state team yet. It's time for somebody to beat an out-of-state. You know, at Blackman, we haven't beaten an out-of-state team. We lost to Bowling Green up there, controversial, but still at the end of the day, we got beat. You know, lost to Hoover, lost to Chalkville. Now we got another opportunity with Tucker, Georgia. You know,
last team that won and beat somebody out of state, I'd say was Riverdale when they got St. Nick's up there at that little game.
Well, yeah, you might be right on that.
I'm almost positive because Tom and I went up there. But you know,
I think you lost your bag up there, didn't you?
Let's not talk about that. Man, you'll get me all fired up. 7 o'clock right here tomorrow night?
Yes, sir.
All right. So the Tucker Tigers, the Blackman Blaze, y'all be here tomorrow night. Watch a fantastic football game. We'll be here with both views. So we'll see you tomorrow night at 7 o'clock.